there's no question that watching images like the ones we're seeing where the Queen's children are walking behind the funeral procession and the cortege with the casket really brings to mind that tragic scene 25 years ago when Harry and William walked behind their mother's casket, a totally different circumstance in which a young woman died shockingly and tragically. Here we have the Queen having lived a good long life, 96 years old, 7 decades of service, and so the feeling in the crowd, I'm sure you'll agree, has been one of sadness and sorrow, but mostly gratitude, love and joy and affection for a life well lived and for a job well done. One of the notes I read as I walked through some of the floral tributes quoted the verse from Matthew, well done, my good and faithful servant. And I think that is the feeling that we hear from the public. Wilfred Frost is with me, and I think about King Charles. There he is walking. You can see him to the left side of the screen. He's in his military regalia, as are 3 of the 4 of the Queen's children. He's 73 years old. He's the oldest monarch ever to take the throne.
Which speaks, as we well know, to the extraordinary length of his predecessor, his mother's reign. But I do also think worth reflecting on that at 73. There's a lot on his shoulders this week. This walk in heavy military clothes, only a mile long, but in the heat is not, something that everyone does, particularly with the weight of duty that's been on his shoulders in the last couple of days and, of course, in the week ahead to come for him. But this is a great example, as Keir was saying. Duty first. They have a lot on their shoulders, but they're ready to deliver. And I think the interactions with the people are so important as part of the mourning process.
No question, and this is just the beginning of the mourning process. We're starting to see the procession. We're in Scotland. The Queen's casket is being moved first from Balmoral, then to the Queen's Palace in Edinburgh, the official residence of the Queen in Scotland, now to St. Giles Cathedral, where it will lie for a period of 24 hours. They say the coffin is lying in rest. That's the term. And the members of Scottish public are invited to come and pay respects. And at that point, it moves on to London. But I want to bring Keir Simmons in again as we talk about looking ahead. King Charles will make a tour of the nations of the United Kingdom. And it all culminates a week from today and the funeral, the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. Many, many world leaders expected to attend, including President Biden.
That's right, Savannah. We'll see scenes like this behind us here outside Buckingham Palace and in London in the days ahead. And it is an age-old tradition. Folks can go online and look up the funeral of the Queen's father and see similar scenes in black and white on film. It is something that is traditional, but all of this at the same time has been planned meticulously by the Queen herself. She was involved. And it was occurring to me, one other thought watching this at Savannah. The Queen would have been, and as you watch processions like this in the days ahead, keep an eye out for the horses, because that's what the Queen would have done. Her love for horses surpassed almost anything. And I was watching and seeing the horse just to the right. Some people watching closely will have seen it too, I suspect. Policewoman perhaps having a little bit of trouble with her horse because earlier this year, for Trooping the Colour, we were told, and it's an interesting point, that these horses often haven't been through this before, partly because of coronavirus. There weren't processions like this for a while, so in a lot of cases the horses are new to it. Despite the silence of the crowd, it can be a little frightening, and the Queen, watching a procession like this, would have seen every single detail and noticed anything that wasn't quite right, and she would have worried about any horse that seemed as if it was struggling a little bit.
Let's watch for a moment. Queen Consort Camilla has now assembled at the staircase to the St. Giles Cathedral, where this prayer service will take place in a few moments. Other senior members of the royal family also expected. Let's watch a moment as this moment in history unfolds before us. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II arriving at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, Scotland. Her casket adorned with flowers from her beloved Balmoral estate. A prayer service about to be held, senior members of the royal family and King Charles III in attendance. The first of many goodbyes to Queen Elizabeth this week, just days after her passing, having served 7 decades as the monarch of the United Kingdom. Her casket, as it moves into the cathedral, will be placed at the center, the throne of Scotland placed upon it. Hymns, prayers, reflections. As a great stateswoman is laid to rest, Wilfred Foss.
Well, exactly. Not quite laid to rest yet, of course, but it really does have that feeling as if it is akin to the funeral that we await on Monday, the 19th of September, because it is a religious service in a cathedral in a capital city with senior members of the person's family and senior members, more importantly, of the monarchy in attendance alongside Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's coffin, as you said, that will have the Scots crown on top of it as a significant first in that regard. And it's obviously, once again, we repeat the point, a very, very sad occasion, but also a great occasion to allow this to take place in more than just one city of the United Kingdom, more than just one nation of the United Kingdom. It's not quite the funeral yet, of course, but it does have that sort of solemn, serious feeling about it.
It's always a moment when you see the Queen's children, because it's always a stark reminder that though she is a queen, she is a mother, and those are children who grieve the loss of her mother. We will continue to watch these pictures. We will continue to cover the events, these historic events taking place in the United Kingdom.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.